Hello and welcome to your yoga practice. My name is Laura. Today we'll be going through a gentle practice, very low to the ground, where we can feel lots of support underneath us. And that may require that we use a couple of different props. So I'm sitting up high on a nice bolster, but you're also welcome to grab a cushion from the couch or a couple of pillows. Adding in a blanket if you would like. This is also for extra comfort and support in our body. And of course, some blocks. I've got two. However, if you don't have blocks at home, that's okay. We can make do without, and we can use a bunch of pillows instead. And so we will be practicing together for the next 45 minutes. And during this practice, it'll be all gentle, low to the ground poses. But towards the end, we'll do about 2, maybe 3 restorative poses where we will use all of the props to help support us in practice. And the goal here is to completely listen to your body, but also to know, pardon me, to know what feels good in your body. It might vary pose to pose. So I invite you to explore a little bit. If at any point anything that we're doing does not feel comfortable for you, go back to a seated position or take a child's pose or any pose that makes you feel comfortable. All right, so like I said, we'll practice for about 45 minutes, and then at the end of practice, we'll move into a Shavasana where we just integrate the entire practice. And our Shavasana will be about 5 to 8 minutes of complete silence and stillness. And typical Shavasana is us laying on the floor, but that doesn't have to be typical today. You can come back to a seated position, a reclined pose, or any other position that feels good for you. If at any point you need to pause the video or get up and move around and come back to your mat, just come back and I'll be waiting here for you and ready. And so let's begin practice today by finding a comfortable seated position. I personally find the bolster underneath a little bit of elevating to my hips and my pelvis and helps if you have any back issues going on. You're more than welcome to sit up onto your blanket or blocks or nothing. If you prefer to start practice laying down, you're more than welcome to explore that option as well. Sitting up nice and tall, let's shrug the shoulders up towards our ears and then roll them back. Maybe you close down the eyes, or maybe you find a point out in front of you and just gaze softly. Maybe you look towards the floor. Taking a couple of deep breaths here as we arrive here on our mats. Reminding ourselves that our mats are here to support us in our journey. Knowing that if anytime we need to move, adjust, or find something else, or pause the video, that our practice will support us. Take a nice, long, deep breath in, inhaling completely, and exhaling completely. We'll practice 3 rounds together of a 3-part breath. So we'll inhale fully together and exhale fully together. Inhale fully together, and then we'll exhale for a count of 2 and we'll hold. Exhale for a count of 2 and hold. Exhale for a count of 2 and then repeat that twice more. And if at any point this breath does not serve you, you may let it go too. Inhaling completely again and exhaling completely. Inhale a nice full breath that feels good in your body. Exhale for 2, 1, hold 2, 1, exhale 2, 1, hold 2, 1, exhale 2, 1, hold 2, 1. Inhale completely, filling the body up of air. Exhale for 2, 1, hold 2, 1, exhale 2, 1, hold 2, 1. Exhale, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Inhale completely, doing this one more round together. Exhale, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Exhale, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Exhale, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 1. Inhaling a breath in and exhaling a breath out. Noticing what you notice here. And maybe even checking in with what it is that you are wanting from practice today. Maybe that's your intention as we move gently together. And if you'd like to remove the cushion that you're sitting on, you're more than welcome to remove it or stay seated in it, or on it, I should say. Taking the hands on the top of the lap or wherever they feel most comfortable for you, drop the right shoulder or the right ear down towards the right shoulder. And I invite you here to allow the body to release through the upper body, the shoulders, the neck. Invite you to explore a little bit any sensations. Maybe you start to round the chin towards the chest. Maybe you stay, or maybe you inhale and rounding back, right ear, right shoulder. Inhaling, chin to chest. Good. Exhaling, ear to shoulder. If it feels good, we'll do that one more time. Inhaling, chin to chest. Exhaling, right shoulder, right ear. Inhale, return the head and the neck to center. On your exhale, drop the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Once again, allowing the body to relax. Sometimes we like to hold the shoulders up. Let's see if we can allow them to relax a little bit as the ear moves closer towards the shoulder. Choosing to stay here if you would like to stay here, or maybe you slowly drop the chin towards the chest. Maybe you stay as you are, or maybe you create this movement here like we did on the other side. Inhaling, ear to shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhaling, ear to shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Inhale and return to center. Bring the head and neck back. And if it feels good, turn your gaze over to the right shoulder. Drop the chin down. And then looking over now, the left shoulder. Dropping the chin down. Inhaling, looking over the right shoulder. Exhaling, dropping the chin down. Inhaling, left shoulder. At this time, let's return to center. Bring the head and neck back to neutral. And then turn the gaze to the left. Dropping the chin towards the chest. Inhaling, looking over the right shoulder. We're going to move like this a couple more times if it feels good in your body, knowing that at any point you can stop, try again, or simply stay seated. And one more time here. And return to center. See if we can start to draw big circles now. So starting by taking your gaze now up towards the sky. Feeling this through the front of the throat, down the front of the chest. Good. And then come back to center. Not circles quite yet. Drop your chin to your chest. Noticing how this feels in your body. And you get to decide how much you look up and how much you look down here. Let's do that again here. Inhaling, looking all the way up, as comfortable as it is for you. And exhaling, chin to chest. All right, when we're ready, let's come back to center and draw some circles here with your head and your neck. Doesn't matter the direction that you choose. Once you've drawn about one or two, start to draw your circles the other way if it feels good in your body. Returning to center. Let's take the hands on the tops of the knees. Inhale, slowly circle to the right. Exhale, circle all the way back. Essentially, we're drawing big circles here with our bodies. You get to decide how quickly these circles move, but also how slowly they move, knowing that there is no wrong and no right way to move your body here. Coming back to center, when you feel ready, we'll circle the opposite way now, circling to the left. When you feel like you've had enough circles, return to center. I invite you to take the right hand behind you and take the left hand onto the outside of the right knee. On your inhale, find length through the spine. On your exhale, begin to twist gently over to the right. Now think about this twist essentially coming through the body, through the center of your chest. Good. Inhale, return to center slightly. On the exhale, starting to twist through the center of your chest. We'll do that one more time before we stay. Inhale, returning to center, coming out of the pose slightly. Exhaling, twisting the center of the chest to the right. And if it feels good in your body, see how it feels as you explore taking the right or your gaze, over the right shoulder. We'll take 4 deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. One more full breath. On your next inhale, gently return all the way back to center, taking your hands on the tops of the knees, just noticing how we feel without judging how we feel, just simply observing. When you feel ready and would like to take this twist on the other side, let's take our left hand and place it behind us. The right hand reaches for around the outside of the left knee. On our inhale, grow tall through your spine. On your exhale, begin to twist over towards the left. Inhale, come up and out of your twist. Come back to center. Good. On the exhale, twist the body to the left. One more time. Inhaling, returning to center. On the exhale, twisting over to the left side of the mat. We'll take 4 deep breaths in and out through the nose. If it feels good in your body, turn your gaze over the left shoulder a little bit more, noticing how this feels in the back of the neck. One more deep breath in and out. On your next inhale, let's gently return to center. Okay. I invite you to try switching out the way you've got your feet placed. If that doesn't feel good, go back to having them however they feel comfortable for you. We'll take all of this now on this side of the body with our legs in a different position here. So taking the hands back onto the tops of the knees, slowly draw your big circles here to the right. It's also okay if you started your circles on the left. We'll do both directions when we feel ready. When you feel complete here, let's start to circle the other way, drawing our circles the opposite way. Coming back to center when you feel ready. I invite you to take the right hand behind you. Take your left hand to the outside of the right knee. On your inhale, grow tall through the spine. On your exhale, twist over towards the right side of the mat. Inhaling back through center. Exhaling, twisting to the right. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling, coming back to center. On your exhale, twist to the right. And we'll take 4 deep breaths here, in and out through the nose. If you would like to explore taking your gaze over the right shoulder or over towards the right a little bit more, you can try that out, see how that feels for you. One more breath. Inhale and return to center. Good. We'll take that to the other side, finding the left hand behind us, right hand to the outside of the knee. On your inhale, grow tall through the spine. Exhale and begin to find your twist to the left. Inhaling, returning to center. Good. Exhale, twist to the left. One more time. Inhaling, finding yourself through center. Exhale, twisting to the left for 4 deep breaths. Maybe you turn your gaze over the left shoulder. Maybe you don't. One more full round of breath in and out through the nose. Inhale and return to center. Uncross your legs. We'll take the soles of our feet together, knees wide apart. The closer your heels are toward you, the more you'll feel a bit of a stretch here. So if you would like a little bit less of the stretch today, maybe your feet move closer towards the top of the mat. Maybe you play around to see what feels more comfortable in your body. Lots of different options here. We can grab the outer edges of the feet or around our ankles. Take a big breath in. Find length through your spine. Maybe you stay. Or maybe on your exhale, you slowly come forward into a little bit of a forward fold, letting the elbows press down into the knees if it feels good. Reminding yourself that this is your practice today. Maybe you shake out a gentle no through the head and the neck. Maybe you shake out a gentle yes through the head and the neck. And if it feels good, we'll take about 5 to 6 more breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. Three more breaths. Last breath here. Slowly, if you're in a forward fold, come all the way back up. Length or plant your feet now into the ground. Take your hands behind you. Just gently start to take your knees side to side. We'll make our way gently onto our front of our bodies. You you'd like some additional support, I encourage you to see how it feels as you unfold your blanket and lay it over top of your mat. So as we make our way down onto the front of our body, take your right forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Forehead will rest down. We'll bend our left knee and see how it feels if you reach to find the left foot with the hand. You may also reach for your ankle. You can also just have that act of reaching instead where your hand does not reach the foot. That's okay too. Take a moment here and find your breath. Forehead will just stay resting here. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. When you feel ready, let go of the foot. Let the foot rest onto the mat. We'll bring both forearms parallel to the mat, forehead down. Just relaxing here. Taking a couple of deep breaths in and out through the nose. When you feel ready, take the left forearm parallel to the mat, forehead down. Bend the right knee. See how it feels. If you can reach for the foot or the ankle or have the act of reaching instead, that's okay too. Taking a couple of deep breaths here in your quad stretch here on the right side of the body, noticing what you notice here. Letting the breath move through your body. You're doing great. Keep breathing. Slowly releasing here. Take your hands down by the sides of your body. Press all the way up, taking the big toe mounds to touch, knees wide apart. Melt the forehead down towards the earth as you find your Balasana pose. We're more than welcome to add in some support here if you'd like the bolster underneath you, giving you a little bit more room in the body. You can rest your gaze over one shoulder or the other. You may also explore the option of placing the block underneath your forehead, or we can see how it feels if we take two blocks underneath our hands, melting the head down towards the ground. And so wherever you've landed, if this doesn't serve you, laying flat onto the front of the body is okay, or in a seated position. But wherever you have landed, I invite you to find your breath and take 10 deep rounds of breath in and out through your nose. Five more breaths. When you feel ready, slowly press yourself all the way up, having a seat. Okay, moving into a supported resting pose here. Into a little bit of a twist, we'll take one of our blocks and place it at the top of the mat on the second level, and your other block will act as though it's just like a stepping stool. And we can play around with the height once we figure out where we're headed here. Taking your cushion, place it over top of your stepping stone. Maybe you find your blanket and give your knees some extra love here. Placing it so that the knees are having a little bit of extra room. Take the right side of the right hip over to the bolster. Bring both of your hands to the outer edges of the bolster and come all the way down. So now we're gazing over towards the left side of the room. So you can adjust your blanket pillow. Maybe it feels better to have it rolled up in between the ankles. Maybe you don't want it. That's okay too. Maybe you prefer to have it over the body. As we arrive here, allow the forearms to come down. And again, you can adjust the height if you'd like to take away a block or add in more height. You're more than welcome to. As we arrive here, we'll take about 10 breaths at least. Now, typically in our restorative practice, we do hold the pose a little bit longer, but this is just us trying to make our way down in from our gentle practice, just calming the body here, supporting our body. You can keep your eyes opened, or maybe you turn your gaze softly towards something on the floor. Taking 3 more breaths. And of course, if your body would like you to stay as you are, you're more than welcome to stay here as long as you need. Maybe you don't require to do the second side of the body. That's okay too. You're more than welcome to stay. But if you would like to bring this now to the other side of the body, I'm just adjusting my props so you can have full access to what's happening. We'll take the left hip this time to the outer edge of the base of the bolster or your cushion. Both hands are framing the bolster and gently come all the way down. Turning our gaze over to the right, you can adjust the blanket pillow here. Feeling this nice support system underneath us. If you arrived here and you prefer to go back to the right side of the body, you're more than welcome to. And just like on the one side of the body, we'll take about 10 full rounds of breath here. Eyes can stay open or closed. And let's take 3 more full rounds of breath. When you feel ready, gently start to press yourself all the way up. We'll take the props that we have, and actually we won't even move them here. We'll only slide the bolster away. If you need something to sit up on, your blanket is okay too. Take your legs nice and long. I invite you to try how this feels. You can have a little bend through the knees if you would like to. You can also slide your blanket if you're not utilizing it already. You can slide it underneath the knees. Taking our cushion, place it just above the legs. Maybe you start to flex the feet a little bit, grabbing the sides of the bolster. Slowly begin to find a forward fold. You're finding this forward fold that will feel good in your body. Maybe you need to bend the knees a little bit more. Maybe you'd like to offer your body a little bit more of a stretch here by flexing your toes toward your nose. Beautiful, everybody. If you need a little bit more here, you're welcome to place the block underneath the bolster, giving you a little bit of extra leverage here as well. Finding what feels good in your body, take a nice deep breath in. And on your exhale, begin to slowly forward fold. Your hands will land wherever they want to. We'll stay here in our forward fold for about a minute or two. I'll watch the time. You just breathe. I invite you to take 3 more deep breaths here. When you feel ready, slowly start to rise all the way back up into your seat. Removing your bolster and any other props that you have been utilizing. Take your hands behind you, bend at your knees, and gently start to take your knees side to side once again. Okay, 1 more round if it feels right in your body. Come back to center. Okay, so we will set ourselves up for our Shavasana. However, if you would like to skip out on Shavasana altogether, that is okay. I just would like to give you a few options here, just so that you know which option feels good in your body today. Always, you may sit up onto anything that feels good. You can sit just on the mat. If you have something you like to lean into, the wall or anything else, maybe you're sitting on a couch, you can sit cross-legged. You're more than welcome to explore how it feels if you take the legs out long. This is a great seated option where you can keep the gaze soft, the eyes opened or closed, whatever feels good in your body. If you would like more of a laying down option, I've got two. Honestly, sometimes the more options, the better, in my opinion. You could slide a pillow underneath the head, or this can also be used to cover your body as well. Finding our bolster or cushion or couch cushion, pillow, whatever you're using, we can come all the way down onto our backs with the bolster underneath the knees. Also a great option here, we can close down the eyes if we'd like, or we can keep the gaze soft. And one more option for you. Seeing where we're all at. Amazing, everybody. Okay. The last option is more of a reclined restorative pose. It's one of my favorites. One where you feel a little bit extra support, almost as though you're in a hammock. We'll take one of our blocks, place it at the back of the mat, and it'll be on the second level. Finding our other block, we'll place it like it's a stepping stool again. The bolster with the zipper facing down. And if you want a handlebar, we want that away from the body as well to find extra comfort. It's going to go right over top, swinging our legs out in front of us. Come all the way down. Allowing the arms to feel supported here as well. They're not flying high, you're not having to effort too much and hold them up. They can be down by the sides of the body. And then, of course, you're more than welcome to add in your blanket, allowing it to go anywhere in your body that feels good. Maybe you're not quite sure today, and that's okay too. Maybe you try out all three options before you enter into your Shavasana. In our Shavasana, we'll take 5 minutes in this resting pose. However, if you need to switch, get up, walk out of the room, come back, pause the video, you have my permission to do any of that. At the end of 5 minutes, you'll hear the sound of my voice and I'll bring us back into space together. Wherever you are, find what feels good and then start to follow the length of the breath. The in, the out. I'll watch the time as you watch your breath. As you're ready, slowly begin to deepen your breath. Maybe if your eyes closed down, you gently flutter the eyelids back open, slowly beginning to wiggle or move or stretch any part that would like to wiggle, move, or stretch. When you're ready, if you're not already in a seat, I invite you now to find a comfortable seated position for you. If it feels good, you can keep the hands resting on the lap. Or maybe you bring your hands into Anjali Mudra at your heart. Taking a big breath in through the nose and a long breath out. Thank you so much for joining me in practice today. From my heart to yours, namaste.